Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Ollis show, a show about navigating life in your 20s by a 20-year-old, and that 20-year-old happens to be me. Guys, where do I begin? Firstly, it feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be back doing the podcast because honestly, guys, I feel like I've had such a big love for having the podcast, and it was so sad that it had to stop, but we are back and we're better than ever. I guess I should start with where I have been for the past. When was the last time we did an episode? March. So this is now December. Oh no, oh no. So it's been 9 months, guys. I was about to say 8. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would have been? People would be like, "What happened to GCSE Maths?" For the past 9 months, yeah, it's been quite crazy. A lot of different things have happened actually since the last episode, and honestly, I think doing it back then, I was very eager and very excited, but I feel like a lot of the I just had a lot of excitement. I didn't have as much consistency. See, this is how some of you guys are. You have a lot of excitement, but not that much consistency, and that's an issue. And let this be an example of why you should try and match your consistency and work-life balance with your eagerness and excitability. So yeah, I was really excited, but I didn't have as much time to actually commit to it, and that's why we only had 2 episodes, and she disappeared. But I'm glad to be back in a position where I have a bit more time to actually have these discussions and a bit of a better location. Yes, guys, get into it. Get into it. Can y'all? This is budget. This is budget, guys. Like, look at it's giving soft. It's giving elegant. It's giving mindful. Very demure, very mindful. That was a trend that happened while we were gone, guys. Can you imagine? We've missed so much. But over the summer, what was I doing over summer? Yes, so basically, let me quickly break it down because I want to let y'all know, so basically over the summer, we had March. I went straight into exam revision after that second episode, and it was really busy. Guys, I'm still a university student. Can you imagine? Yes, I'm really trying my best, repping all of the university students who have extracurricular activities going on. But I had that going on, had exams, then I went to camp. I did Camp America, guys. That is going to be an episode in its own, because guys, the stories are flipping crazy. Like, the kind of stuff that happened, guys, it's just a lot. But it was a great experience, let's put it like that, and I learned so many new things about people, myself, and made amazing friends, guys. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, camp happened. I got back from camp and I went straight into placement. So I've been in placement. I finished my placement for this academic portion of the year, and now it's nearly Christmas. Like, next week is going to be Christmas, guys. So yeah, that's basically what's been going on with me. I know y'all have a lot which has been going on with y'all, but before we get into that, I think we should reintroduce what this podcast is gonna be about. This podcast is, a podcast navigating life in your 20s from a 20-year-old, which happens to be me. So this is what the podcast is all about, guys. It's a lot more chill, and we're not gonna be doing hot mess and tea. You see, this is an issue that a lot of y'all have. You all want to be involved in the hot mess and the hot tea, and then you end up noticing that the hot mess is spilling into your life. You're wondering why that person who was your best friend of 15 years ain't mentioning you back, because you're messy. That's the reason, friend. You need to go and get that sorted out. So I had to take a step back from all of that and be like, okay, I don't want to be talking about mess and all these, like, we'll talk about a little bit, maybe 15%, but we're not going to make it 80%, because whenever you invite that energy into your life, it really does have negative ramifications. See, that was a big word. I'm really impressed. That was a big one. See, I didn't write that one down, guys. I actually came from anyways. So we have to actually get to a point where, like, we don't do too much of that, because we don't want to be inviting that kind of energy into our lives. Instead, we want to be talking about more positive things which are going to benefit us as people, and especially as 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22, etc. We want to kind of be focusing on the stuff that's going to make us coin, that's going to bring the right husband, wife, partner into our lives. Yes, that's what we're trying to focus on here, guys. And if we do end up talking about mess along the way, then we end up talking about mess. Okay, what about it? Like, I'm just a human. But yeah, guys, I think that's all I wanted to say for this introduction. I hope you guys are excited. As you can see by the title of this episode, today we're going to be talking a lot about meaningful friendships. Finding meaningful friendships. What does meaningful friendships look like, period, and navigating that. So, guys, in terms of like meaningful friendships, I feel like, oh my gosh, not my socks, guys. Can y'all see the Mario Kart? Oh my gosh, I wanted to get comfortable, but I don't even care. Like, yes, my socks are uneven. Yes, I'm wearing a Mario Kart sock. I'm wearing a blue striped sock on the other one. What about it? I'm 20. Like, I'm just 20. Anyways, guys, but in terms of like meaningful friendships, I was just thinking, and whenever I was coming along, to talk about for this segment, I was just thinking along the lines of, how can we be intentional with our friendships? How can we actually put ourselves in positions to actually, come along friends who are going to benefit our lives? Intentional friendships. And whenever I was thinking about it, well, a lot of the stuff I think about, I always think about it from the perspective of my own life, the people I have around me. How did I make my friends? And I would say for me, whenever it comes to friendships wise, I almost used to categorize friendships in terms of like best friends, acquaintances. I feel like as I've gotten older, I've kind of stopped doing that. Instead, I'm more focused around my close circle. It doesn't really matter the hierarchy. I just have a close circle, and everyone else is just in their own bubble doing their own thing. And I found with my close circle, like, I've met these people, in a lot of the same things that I'm doing, whether it was studying the same kind of subjects in high school, I became friends with them in my classes, or being in the same university as them. I feel like a lot of it has been because, I've been in the same spaces. And I guess in many ways that has led me to be unintentionally intentional about my friendships, and for me, like, kind of having that mindset. Firstly, like, there's one quote that I heard somebody once mention. I'm not sure who they were. Hopefully they're still alive and doing well and kicking about. But one quote I heard was that, see, guys, it's left my brain. I think it's these cornrows that I got done, guys. I think they're tightening my hemispheres, my cerebral hemispheres. Because what the heck? Oh my gosh, it's left me. Guys, we're real on this podcast. We are so real here. We're not going to lie. But it was a quote. And okay, it wasn't a quote, but another one just came to my mind as I was trying to remember that one. But it's a quote from the Bible, and it says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. And also linking to that is kind of more around like, everything that you have done, this is the quote, everything that you have done has led you to a certain moment. So whether you're in a chemistry classroom, whether you are sitting inside a lecture, whether you're at a conference, everything you've done has led you to that moment where you are in that certain room, in that certain position. And it's important that whenever we're inside these spaces, we actually realize that, we've all been led to this moment for a specific time. There must be some level of an interest that has coincided with your interest for us to all be in the same room, and realizing that has made me actually really appreciate, that, okay, I have a foundation whenever it comes to making these friendships. Like, a lot of the time, whenever we go outside and we're like, I want to make friends. Guys, a quick sidetrack. Let me tell you the story of first year Timothy trying to make friends, and this has never and will never leave me. So I started my course, and I started with 3 people from my high school, 2 of which I was very close with. And in my university, we basically get split up into different groups for our subjects. So we got split up into an A and B group. An A and B group was kind of like basically 2 separate courses going on, basically, because we never saw each other. Like, that's how it was for the whole year. So guess what my university did? The 2 people who I knew, who I was close with, they put them into the other group. What kind of spirit of hatred, what kind of spirit of disappointment was that? Guys, I came into this space being like, okay, I have 2 people I can hang around with. Guys, they took them away with me. They stole them like a thief in the night. Like, I ended up being in the A group by myself. My 2 friends were inside the B group, and I was alone. Yes, guys, I was alone. And I said, okay, I'm going to try and make friends here. I'm going to try and be close to someone because this is not going to be my reality. Girl, one thing for sure, two things are certain. I'm not going to be the loner in this group. So I said I'm going to make friends. So, and bear in mind, in that situation, I'd come from a place where I've always, had a group of people. I've been very privileged in that sense. But in this group, I was just like, I'm going to try and make friends because I have no one right now. So we had like our introduction to like the course, and we were leaving the lecture hall, and I was just like, oh, these two girls look so nice. Like, they have good fashion sense. I'm a fashion girl, like, as you can see, guys. So I literally was like, let me go and speak to these girls and try and initiate a friendship. So I went to them, and I remember saying to them, hi, do you know where we're going? Error number one. Why are you asking your friends to be questions like this? Why are you asking your friends to be, where are you going? Let's be so for real. Like, if I'm trying to make friends with you, I'll be like, what I've learned nowadays, if you want to be friends with somebody, guys, always compliment somebody. Always give them a compliment. That's the first way, because you got to boost the ego a little bit for you to then enter into their lives. But I was just like, yeah, do you know where we're going? And they were just like, yeah, we're going into that room there after we have finished the lecture. I was just like, thank you. I was walking with them. I was just like, guys, like, it's kind of cold. Error number two. Error number two. Like, why the heck am I talking about the weather, guys? You would think at this point, like, I'm an interviewer. Like, what the heck? Like, I'm asking questions and I'm trying to initiate a friendship, but I'm not going about it in the right way at all. And it ended up that these two girls, after discussing with them a little bit, they had already been friends since. So they were doing what I was hoping to do. Like, they already had a group sorted. I was here by myself. And they ended up walking away from me, girl. I was like, oh, oops, oh no, let's sit down and rejig this situation. But I feel like on that story, it kind of showed me the perspective that a lot of us are in, or have been in, whenever it comes to friendships and trying to navigate friendships, in terms of like, in trying to put yourself and not force yourself, but really trying to force a friendship effectively. And that has come, like, for me, I've come to the realization after so many friendships that two things: you tend to become friends with people who you're in the same room, same situation with. And the second thing is that your friends come to you. So I feel like this mindset for me has really helped me navigate friendships in a healthier fashion, and not, stress myself out whenever it comes to looking for friendships. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to have those friends who are going to leave you at the roadside, girl, whenever you're drunk on a night out. God forbids. God forbids. Like, imagine, there are stories, guys, of friends who literally leave their friends drowning, and they're walking around. In fact, they will even pour more water on your head. Guys, we're rebuking those kind of friends in 2024, going into 25. We're rebuking those type of friends. Because what the heck? What the actual flipping heck? Anyways, so that's definitely something I've come to realize in terms of friendships and being intentional about friendships. But another topic that I wanted to touch on was friends will let you down. And not only lets you down, but you also need to be able to accept with your friendships. I feel like I'm preaching here. Somebody is receiving a word. It's so important to be able to accept the errors that your friends have, and being able to understand that they will let you down. Expectations is exactly the word that I wanted to bring up, because expectations, I feel like whenever you don't know somebody, you have no expectations with that person. Whenever you come to know somebody and you categorize them as a friend or as a romantic interest, that's when the expectations start to come. And having those expectations is so important to correctly allocate them. See, I'm using a lot of big words, but what I mean in terms of correctly allocate your expectations is that this boy who's coming into your life, who's not trying to talk to you, trying to be, your boyfriend X, Y, and Z, is he giving you those signs that he wants to be with you? That's a word. Is he giving those signs that he wants to be with you? Because you might be misinterpreting what he's giving out. Or you might be living in denial, and those 2 messages that he sends you every 2 hours, you're thinking that after the third one's going to be, can you marry me? Girl, no, it doesn't work like that. Are we correctly allocating our expectations? Because if we're living inside denial, if we're looking at this situation and we're trying to be like, oh, this boy likes me, in reality, whenever he doesn't, expectations naturally come with that. And that's one thing I feel like I've come to realize, that, expectations is not something that we actually consciously do. Like, I will make friends with somebody, and then you have the expectation that whenever you see them down the hallway, they're going to say hi to you. But for that person's perspective, it might not have been an important reaction for them to be like, oh, this person is not my friend. So we need to be receptive and aware to what we're putting out, and what we're also receiving. Like, a man is going to show you who he is. He's going to show you who he is, and a lot of the time actions do speak a lot louder than words. He's going to show you who he is. Is he asking you out on a date? And by asking it out, I don't mean, are you the one who's messaging, oh, we should do something? Girl, that's you asking him out on a date, girl. Let's be real. Instead, friend, is he the one who's being intentional, asking you out, picking you up if he's not able to drive, booking you an Uber? Is he doing all of those kind of things to show you that he's interested in pursuing something serious with you? Or again, is he sending you 2 messages every 2 hours? What are you doing? And he can't even spell out the what he can't even spell out the what are you doing? He's putting YWD. God forbid. I rebuke every spirit of YWD in 2025, guys. I rebuke it. He can't even spell what are you doing. He's putting YWD. And guys, nah. And some of you guys will be crying and say, oh, he likes me. He loves me. Does he love me? No, girl. Let's be so for real. YWD in 2025. Guys, let's be so for real. So we need to correctly allocate our expectations. We need to be perceptive to what we are receiving and what they're giving out, guys. I'm being very logical. Because a lot of the time, whenever emotion comes to play, we like to do hide and seek. Oh, whenever he's saying you look good, our eyes are now open. We're now inside the open. But whenever he's busy ignoring your messages for 5 hours, oh, we're hiding. We don't know. We didn't see that. Oh, I never saw that coming. So guys, it's so important that we can actually open our eyes and look at things logically. I feel like I ended up going down a little rant. I feel like am I going through something? Is this a message for me? See, this is why the podcast is about a 20-year-old explaining issues that 20 years go through. Because guys, maybe one day I'll tell you what happened. Maybe one day. But for now, we're going to focus this on how we can all grow together. I feel like in a way, this is a red table talk. I really do love Jada Pinkett Smith. I really do love her, girl. Like, oof, I feel like I'm really channeling her energy with the low cut. We didn't even talk about the low cut, guys. Like, the low cut, okay, it's not a cut. I'm so sorry. It's cornrows. And honestly, I feel like it's cool. Like, it's kind of a vibe. Like, I can't really bend my head down. With it latching me on the neck. But I think it's really cute. I really like this hairstyle. Like, I think it's, how will I describe this hairstyle? It's very much giving me pixie cut, but a little bit of a Nigerian spin on it. It's giving me a little bit of a pixie cut. People always ask me, like, how do you do all this stuff to your hair? Because if you guys didn't know, I used to have really long hair, actually. 2 days ago. That is so fake. I used to have really long hair 2 days ago. And I didn't even cut it. No scissors were involved in the process. But guys, yeah, it was all my real hair. And literally, like, it's just, whenever they say we have 4C hair, in my perspective, I think it's for, I was going to make a joke, but I can't even think of something. But I think this 4C hair just gives me superpowers. Yeah. And it's just magical, guys. Like, literally, this was actually all here last week. It was all here. Anyways. But yeah, guys, I think that's what I wanted to say in terms of friendships. Let me see. Oh my gosh. I had another topic, guys, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't always have them in my head. But I sure I'm gonna find them. Anyways, appreciating your friends. Are we appreciating our friends? That's a really good point. Are we appreciating our friends? Guys, I can speak to this experience. I don't want to speak to it too much because I actually do have friends and I don't want them to hear what I'm saying on this situation. But like, I have a friend, and they were discussing to me about some issues they have with one of their friends who they've known longer than me. And this was like actually right around the time that I stopped filming the podcast. And I was just like, friend, listen, like, it gets a point where you actually need to be perceptive and understand that, okay, this person is not giving me what I want. And in a relationship, you can go to 500 podcasts who will tell you the same thing, girl, and tell you that, oh, if a man's not satisfying, he's not doing what he needs to do, girl, cut him off. Sometimes we can apply that same kind of mindset to our friends. Sometimes our friends start out at a point of excitement. You're going out, you're traveling, you're doing X, Y, and Z, you're having a great time, and then it kind of diminishes over time, and they get comfortable inside your friendship, inside your relationship, and they start prioritizing other people, they are prioritizing over other things. Yes, given your friends will move on as time changes, that's another discussion for like another day. But you have to actually really look at it and say, okay, is this person satisfying what I need them to be satisfying as a friend to me? And do I still want to have this person in my life? Or is there a discussion that we could have about our priorities as friends? I feel like a lot of the time we really need to be mature and really, really open our minds and be like, okay, is this person eating it up in the friendship department or not? If they're not eating it up, girl, then you can just pass the plate to somebody else. If not, you can enjoy that meal, literally. So yeah, I feel like, how did we get talking about this? We were talking about appreciating your friends. Yeah, appreciate your friends from your own perspective. For me, I feel like with my friendship, guys, like, I really do try, and at least now in recent years, I've tried my hardest to let the close circle of people I have know that I appreciate them. And for me, right now, budget wise, it might not be looking like much, girl, because the budget is very small. I can't lie, the bank account sometimes hit the negative, and she has to get bumped up, a couple of pounds into the positive, girl. The budget can be very small, but sometimes that doesn't mean that buying them gifts. Sometimes that looks like, spending time messaging them. Actually, messaging is so important, and checking in is so important. There's a lot of a movement towards seeing your friends in real life. Sometimes your friends don't live here, girl. I'm not gonna sit here and say book that trip and go and see your friend who lives 500 miles away, girl. Sometimes we don't have the budget to do that, girl. And sometimes we just need to be a bit more real and just send out Snapchat message. Sometimes that Snapchat message is all you need to do, friend. But I feel like we need to really spend time and really, invest in our friendships, at least the ones which are important to us, and I feel like your friends will appreciate it over time. So for me, that has looked like, okay, I want to speak to this person. I want to check in on my good friend, and like, a good example for me, I feel like recently, was my friend Jana, and she stays in, actually, why am I giving her whole location? That's a bit too much. I'm sorry, Jana. I'm really sorry. But like, she goes to a different university, and we're very close during secondary school and high school and stuff. And that really just looks like, okay, I'm just gonna check in on my friend, make sure she's doing okay, and just accepting that, your friends are going to get to points in life where they're going to have their own stuff going on. They're going to, find other friends. Go, yes, I know. Sometimes your best friends are going to have best friends too. Yeah, it's a bitter pill to swallow. But honestly, guys, it's okay. You just have to accept that as a point of, okay, let them do their own thing, but still revive the friendship, and keep that moving on. One situation, guys, I've been really, I don't want to say struggling with friendship wise, but like having friends, who are, at different points now to where you are now, whereas like in the past you're all at the same point, and changing along with that has been really difficult for me personally to navigate. I feel like it's so much easier now, being who I am now, to make friends with people who I'm in the same rooms with, who have same interests with now. And it's kind of like managing the difference between switching from your interests into your personal friendships. As your interests change, your friendships change as well. And I've kind of just been like, oh, how do I do this? This is kind of difficult. This is a bit tricky. Because I feel like back, if I have to go a couple years back, like, I was a very different person. Like, girl, y'all should thank God that she knows what a cornrow is, because it was given a couple years ago that, she did not really she didn't really know. So that was a sneak peek into who I was a couple of years ago, and kind of changing into who I am now. You kind of have friendships where you've had them and garnered them in a certain position, and then you're now in a different boat. And how do you navigate that? I guess that's the question. And I feel like I don't have all the answers, like I'm still navigating it, but I feel like honestly sometimes you have to get to a point and be like, okay, it's okay to let that friendship go. It's okay to let that friendship go and diminish a little bit. I feel like the beauty of friendship is being able, throughout all the changes of life, to find a common ground still and hold on to this essence of your friendship. And I feel like if you can't hold on to the essence of that friendship, regardless of all the changes that you make, whether that's a common interest, whether that's a certain goal or aspiration, if you can hold on to the essence of your friendship, then sometimes it's okay to let that thing go and just say, okay, I don't hate you, I have nothing against you, we're still cool, we're still acquaintances, whatever the case may be. We may not have been at that intensity because as time has changed, the essence of our friendship has gone, but I still care for you as a person, and letting that go. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit of closure for me in terms of like how to manage those situations and move on. Because there are greener grounds, there are greener pastures, such as this wall. Guys, this has been a really great chat about friendships. And also, I want to know what y'all think, because it's really an important discussion. Guys, give me a second. I'm going to check if this camera's on, because Baba Mo, let this camera not come and die. I serve a God who is powerful. Hey, I serve a God who is mighty. This God is a good God. Hallelujah. You can call him a miracle. Hey, I serve a God who is powerful. Guys, okay, let me calm the heck down. That was a bit much. Let me cross my legs. Yeah, guys. So the phone is still recording. That's really good to know. But yeah, I think friendship wise, if you have any questions, guys, please pop them in. I would be so happy to get something to answer because we're just starting out, girl. We're really just starting out. But yeah, I feel like it's honestly such a big discussion, and it really just needs to be tapped into because we don't talk about it a lot. We have a lot of friends. Some of them are not as important, I'm not speaking from my perspective, but some of them we don't value as much, and some of them we really do value. And I feel like it's a discussion that we really do need to have with each other and be real about. Moving swiftly on, we have some points of hot topics to discuss. I know, guys, we said that this was not going to be a hot mess podcast, but this is the 15%. So, topics of discussion. Whenever I have money to afford a graphic designer, we're going to put this on the screen. Topics of discussion, guys. Things that have been so interesting to look at on the internet recently. Skai Jackson. Skai Jackson is pregnant, guys. Can you imagine? She is pregnant. Mrs. Hey, Jesse. Hey, ooh. Hey, Jesse. Hey. That's actually my brother's name. Yes, it is. But Skai Jackson is pregnant, guys. I know. I've literally been keeping up with her on Snapchat, and it's so good to see. I feel like she is just. I really do like Skai Jackson, even though she is really messy. And the girls don't know, but the girls who keep up with her know that she's actually a very messy girl. But I really do like Skai Jackson because she's so authentic. She's so authentic in who she is. She does not play. Like, she's always been who she is. The only thing that's really unfortunate, I guess, about the situation is her baby daddy. Like, oh gosh, God forbid a man who will drag you across the internet, who will, oof. Let's not talk about it. It's not our business, guys. Let's just forget about it. But we are wishing, from the Ollis show, we are wishing Skai Jackson a beautiful, beautiful pregnancy and deliver and birth. Wishing her a beautiful, safe and protected pregnancy and birth, and just beautiful flowers and roses every day of her life, because we really do love Skai Jackson here. Yes. What was the other topics? What other things happened this week? I'm not, this is not something that happened this week, but this is something that came to my mind because I was just like, guys, I don't like this. I don't like this. And what I don't like is people saying, oh, my mother's life. One of these days, your mother's gonna drop. And you're gonna be the one calling 999 or 111 or 911 or whatever country code you have. You're gonna be the one calling it. And you're gonna wonder why. And the reason why is because you said, oh, my mother's life. Guys, that's flipping crazy. Let's actually deep it for a second. I know some people are not religious or spiritual or manifestational or zodiac signal. Like, girl, I know some of y'all have your own different beliefs. That is very cute. We are very open here. But let's be so for real, guys. Do we not love our mothers? Do we not love our mothers that we are seeing on my mother's life, guys? Let's be so for real. Because I don't want to see any one of y'all's mothers drop in. Some of y'all don't. Ooh. Let me not speak too much. But some of y'all don't even know your mother and you're wishing. Girl, let me not speak too much. And then some of y'all will even double on that. How can you double on that and not say on your child's life? Oof. That is somebody who's trying to do family control. That is somebody who is trying to do family control. Just know and see, whenever someone says on my child's life, that's somebody who's trying to manage the number of kids they already have. He said we gotta reduce this family one way or another. Guys, we have to really, let's reevaluate, guys. Let's reevaluate because that's not healthy. It's not healthy. If you want to say on someone's life, say on your life. Say on your life. Because at this point, I don't see anyone saying on my life. I don't see anyone saying that. Because y'all know that y'all are lying. Y'all know y'all are liars. Y'all are flipping liars. Y'all will be saying on my mom's life and lying. Guess what? Guess who's not gonna lie? God, whenever she drops dead. Ooh. I'm sorry. God forbid. She's not gonna drop dead. Oh Lord, protect her in Jesus' name. But yeah, guys. Oh my gosh, that is flipping crazy. Is there any other discussions? Anything that happened that has been a bit wild and crazy that we can talk about? Christmas. Well, Christmas is not a hot topic. Guys, I have some hot topics here. Let me see what they were. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have one. Molly May. I've seen Molly May on the interwebs. Yes, Molly May, girl. She is eating the girls up. She's giving them a run for their money, quite literally. She said, I am not here to play. She said, I'm going to get the bag. I'm going to get the child, get the bag, and I'm going to leave. Period. And I really do love it for Molly May. Like, Molly May, I feel like, has been such a controversial figure in the UK. Unintentionally, because what the heck has she done? She's never done anything to be such a controversial figure. But I feel like she just sparked controversy, probably just because of Love Island. Honestly, I think it stemmed from Anton in Love Island, saying she was a game player. And people just really held on to that. If anything, she's been very genuine. But, you know, people have always had controversy about Molly May. Even her new brand, Maybe. The marketing for that, guys, ate up. Like, she got y'all hooked with those little mini blazers. You know, those little blazers, guys. I really do like Molly May, you know, and it's just so unfortunate what happened. But I feel like she's so strong, and we're really here today supporting the single mothers. And I love that. I really do love that. Let's all go and become friends with a single mother. Write down your cards, guys. I know some of y'all are struggling for New Year's resolutions. One of them should be try and become friends with a single mother. Oh, is someone on the door? Oh, no, guys. So yeah, honestly, we really do love Molly May up in here, and I'm really rooting for her and her child and her business and her growth because she's got it in the bag. I don't like speaking negatively about people, but all I have to say is, you know, unless you choose to make a change, this is an Ollis show PSA. Unless you choose to make a change in your life and the decisions that you make and the interactions that you have and the people that you come across and the way you behave, you're always going to be in the same boat. And that was a message for him and also for a lot of other people out there too. Clock that T. But yeah, guys, I think I don't know if I have much else to talk about. I don't want to talk for talk's sake. But I think this has been a very, very good episode. And I just pray, oh Lord Jesus, or whoever you pray to, I just pray that my microphone here does not record what I said and the video is still playing. And if all of that is going well, guys, you will hopefully surely see me on Spotify, live and live and well. It's not what they say, live and well, and you'll hopefully hear the audio as well on Spotify and YouTube. So I guess we'll sign off. Let's sign off, guys. Let's sign off. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on the Ollis show and for our third episode, but technically our first one of this new show. I hope you had a great time listening, and I honestly hope that you learn things, because I don't like doing things without any reason, and I feel like, I've learned so much from this oh my gosh, English is my first language, from this discussion, and I hope you guys have as well. Share this podcast to your friends, send it to somebody who is going through a similar issue, and hopefully we can speak together, and hopefully we can get those issues resolved. Yes. Oh my gosh, auntie's okay, give me a second. So yeah, share this podcast, follow us on our socials. That will be on Instagram, Ollis TV, and on TikTok, The Ollis Show. Give us a like, subscribe on YouTube. That's also just going to be Ollis TV. And if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at Timothy Ollis. Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you for our next one. Bye.